moments ago, you just tweeted you're going back in the pool. You're swimming. Is it 12 feet deep, 8 feet deep? What's the deal here, Triple C?
At the end of the day, Schmo, it doesn't matter because either way, I need floaties.
He needs floaties. And with that said, welcome back to the Triple C and Schmo show. I'm the Schmo. My partner to the left, your right, has an Olympic gold medal. The champ, the future Hall of Famer, Mr. Henry Cejudo.
What's up, Schmo? Let's get this party going because time is money and money is time.
We just finished our watch party, UFC 273. It's still on the screen. It's fresh in the minds. Let's start this gold medal moment. How about with the bantamweights, man, where you last fought? And still, it was also at the ViStar Arena, Jacksonville. Aljamain Sterling, he beats Petr Yan, gets a decision.
Yeah, man, that was a different. It all went back to the first round. You know, I thought Aljamain did a really good job in the second and third round. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that first round because that fifth round was definitely Petr Yan's. But I'm actually happy for Aljamain. You know what I mean? Like I think because I think TJ's to become the champ. And if TJ does beat Aljamain, this is how I switch. If TJ does beat Aljamain, then that sets up a fight between me and TJ Shaw. So what do you guys think? Or what do you think, Schmo?
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, the Schmo agrees with you. We sat here, we had a watch party. That first round is what's in question here because Aljamain got rounds 2 and 3. Petr got rounds 4 and 5. They were feeling each other out in the first round. I mean, let's see if these judges were consistent, how they're going with control time, how they're going with significant strikes. Go back to the Mackenzie Dern beating Tecia Torres by the decision. You know, Tecia Torres landed more significant strikes, but it was the grappling and the exchanges, and that's why judges gave it to Mackenzie Dern. You know, you're coming in a situation with Aljamain Sterling. He's the champion. The challenger has to take it away from him, in this case, Petr Yan. Guess that wasn't the case. Happy for Aljamain Sterling. Now let's go back to you for a second, since there's a lot to unpack there. TJ Dillashaw, he's sitting there cage side. Aljamain Sterling, the rightful call out right there. You read the Schmo's mind right then and there. If TJ Dillashaw is next to fight Aljamain Sterling, and let's just say TJ Dillashaw wins, the last person there to beat TJ Dillashaw is the guy right here to my left. And
can I say something clear? Like, yeah. TJ did lose his belt. You know why? Because you're a damn cheater. So TJ did lose his belt. I never lost my belt. I left on top. I went out with my hand raised. So he did lose his damn belt because he doesn't play by the rules. So you go, oh, he didn't leave his belt. All you guys are MMA junkie. I don't know what the hell his name was. Anyways, whatever. What I'm saying is, I would love to beat the brakes off that dude. So I don't know. I got to talk to Ali, and I'm serious about, entering back in the USADA pool because Alexander the Average, he's pummeling through people. He's talking about there's no competitors. Well, you got the Triple C here, and then you got the CEO of EPO, TJ Dillashaw. If he come back and he beats Aljamain Sterling, then I think there's a beautiful storyline. So don't count Triple C out.
Well, I feel like if there's anybody to call you out and to want to fight you, it would be TJ Dillashaw to the eventual loss. Yes, obviously, that's when you went down to 125. You still cracked him. You still beat him. But he's going to want to avenge that loss. He's going to have to prove himself. And I feel like that would make a lot of sense. So, Triple C, does that make more sense to you than Volkanovski? And we'll get to Volkanovski in the silver medal moment, but we're sticking right now on the bantamweight division.
I think either option's good, man. 'Cause I can see myself beating both of those dudes. So whether I go up and then come down, or I go down at 35 and then come up. Remember, Schmo, I'm not that light no more. I would it would be hard for me to make even 45.
You're like 170 right now. That's why but last week it was Conor McGregor and it was 170 pounds.
Of Twisted Steel and Sex Appeal, yes. 170 pounds of Twisted Steel, of 5'4" of Twisted Steel and Sex Appeal, ladies and gentlemen.
The Schmo will say this, though. Very happy for Aljamain Sterling because if you didn't feel like he was the legitimate champ before, he himself didn't feel like he's the legitimate champ, now he's got it. Now we can say he's the bantamweight champion of the world. It wasn't handed to him.
And that's why, I think that's why, even though I trolled Aljamain a lot, he deserved that, man, and I was happy for him. I was happy to see, first of all, to see him win, but then second of all, to see all the holes and everything that I was talking about with Petr Yan. He's easy to take down. You can control him on bottom, and that was it. Like, that was my game plan. So but people everybody looks pretty on their feet, but when you take somebody down, you start rubbing in some elbows, knees to the, you know what I mean? Like, in other words, Petr Yan he looked like a potato. He looked like a turtle on his back or a potato on his back. He just couldn't get up. He couldn't move.
So what next for Petr Yan? What do you think?
Oh, man, I say you run it back with I say he does a second fight with what's his name, Corey Sandhagen. I think you do it that way. The bantamweight division is so deep, it's ridiculous. I think there's so many fights to be made that these guys could literally like beat each other off.
Well, now do you think
that sounded a little weird?
it sounded a little weird, but beat each other off? But speaking of beating each other off, what do you think if you were actually in the corner of Petr Yan? If you and Sugar Sean O'Malley were actually in his corner?
Well, I wasn't going to be in the loser's corner. So that's the only reason why I didn't show up to that corner. So I already knew this stuff was going to happen. Second of all, dude, Petr Yan is not my friend, dude. As a matter of fact, he's actually my frenemy. So that being said, who knows, man. Peter's good. He can end up coming back and reclaiming that belt. I'm curious and I'm excited to see what's going on with Aljamain and TJ Dillashaw. See what kind of flourishes there.
Interesting, though. But now let's go back to Aljamain Sterling, man. What do you make of him as the champion, his skill set, and do you think this is the type of guy that can defend this belt in this division?
No, I think he's very beatable. I think if you can defend his grappling, you can beat him on your feet. He hits wide, he turns wide, he gives his back. He does things like that with me. I'm definitely gonna capitalize. I'm gonna stick him, or I'm gonna ride him like what they do in college wrestling. Where I'm just gonna claw him and make sure he struggles to get up. He's got a lot of flaws, man. I think I still think if Corey Sandhagen can kind of weasel his way through Petr Yan and beat him this next time around, I think he'd be the biggest threat for all those dudes.
Wow, there it is. Now, do you think we should move on to the silver medal moment? We'll talk about Alexander Volkanovski beating Korean Zombie. A lot of people were just questioning, why weren't you in the corner of Korean Zombie?
Because I'm here having a watch party with the Schmo.
Don't blame it on the Schmo, though.
No, I tell people this all the time, dude. I'm more of a high counselor than I am a coach. If the athlete really desires me, he wants me to hear my voice there, I can only be there for maybe Friday, Saturday, because I got a family. So that was like the biggest thing. I can't be gone for 5 days, giving the Volkanovski look. And then two is like, I want, if I'm invested, man, and if I do go to the corner, I do expect to say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be that, no, because I always have to tell the truth. So that being said, it's like the coaches did a good job. I was with them, the training partners, but, they... Korean Zombie had two other of his Koreans that came with him. Two of the guys, the coaches from Fight Ready, Santino DeFranco and Eddie Cha, and they were there. And that was all good, man. Like, the only thing, like, I talked to the Zombie, and you took the video, and I talked to him right before. It says, Zombie, I just wanted to say, man, just real quick, man, because I know you got to fight, man. Take risk, but be patient when you take it. Be patient when you take risk. That's it. Good luck, you guys. Good luck. We'll see you. Yeah, of course. Be patient when he takes risks. Like, it's going to be important, Eddie, that he does that, man. You have to be patient, and then you have to take the risk. You can't just throw just to throw. You can't fight this just to fight this dude. Like, try to find that right timing with them. Because I know if you can throw that uppercut left hook like you do, or the uppercut left, the uppercut left hook, that you could put him out. But it seemed like he kind of got away from that. He didn't throw it enough, and he was throwing a lot of overhands. Zombie wasn't sliding his head off, where Alexander Volkanovski was just a lot more faster, and he did the same combination, and. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to him. Fuck. I don't know what to say, man. Like I said, man, if I could fight for Zombie, I know it would be a different fight. I know if I can fight Alexander Volkanovski, I know that I could still beat him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about me killing him. It's just about me beating him, outsmarting him, outwitting him. And I still believe that I do have the ability the speed, the wrestling, the IQ, the experience, the toughness, the grit to really challenge a man like that. But it's up to you fans, man. It's up to Dana White, man. Like I'm all about it. They know I'm about it. I've said it before. Like let's if me and Alexander can make a payday off of this, I could become the first triple champ, or he could shut up the cringe. I mean, it'll be a treat for everybody. I know everybody will tune in and watch. So what's up, Dana?
He puts the cringe on the line. But Volkanovski, real quick, and then we're going to get back to Zombie. Where does he stack up?
Yeah. And you know what, Schmo, real quick, man, I'm going to talk to Ali, man. And I'm going to talk to Ali, but by Monday I'm going to decide, man, what I'm going to end up doing if I'm going to get back in the pool. Because if the UFC's serious and they want to talk money, like I'm gonna talk to Ali, man. Because if I do jump in the pool, I'm still doing it for money. I'm still doing it for money. If they can't pay me, then okay. Then there's going to be a certain time I'm just going to officially retire.
It sounds like Volkanovski's more of interest to you than an Aljamain Sterling or TJ Dillashaw.
Because I know I could beat those dudes. I really do, Schmo. Like, this isn't like me to prove it. This isn't me to prove it to myself. This is me to. It sounds weird, but it's for me to prove it to the world. Because I know what I'm capable of. And typically it's the other way around. But I mean that. Because I would be a big underdog, especially the way what he's doing with certain fighters that are legit at high level. I'm not afraid of this dude. I've been the underdog so many times, man, that this dude would just be my greatest victory in mixed martial arts because I know that I could beat him.
So where does he stack up right now in the pound-for-pound list? Because obviously Usman's at the top. The way he's been going through the opponents.
He's number 2. I don't know what they have him at right now, but he is definitely number 2 behind the Nigerian Nightmare, man.
Ahead of Stylebender?
Oh, hell yeah. 100%. Yeah, 100%. I don't know what they have him now, but Alexander Volkanovski should be too. But it's a popularity thing. If you're popular, you can dance, dude. They will freaking put you, pound for pound, dude. If you have a loss, dude, you should not be. You shouldn't be top 2. It should always be top 1 and 2 challenging because they're both undefeated. Nobody has lost to him in the UFC. So I disagree with all these people that love seeing a cartwheel. I don't get it. Volkanovski's number 2.
He goes up from 3 to 2, surpassing Izzy. Double figure wins in the UFC. No losses. Volkanovski, he's right there. Let's go back to the stoppage, though, from Herb Dean. What do you think of that? It wasn't the corner throwing in the towel. It wasn't the teammates over there, the coaching staff of Fight Ready. It was Herb Dean throwing in the towel for Zombie.
Yeah. Herb Dean did a good job. Herb Dean. He wasn't Herb Dean today. But he did a good job of stopping that fight, man. He saw it and he just took it, man. It was a great call by Herb Dean, man, because I don't want to. Zombie's brain was being rattled, man. I think after a fight like this, because he's been in the game for so long, he probably should consider retirement.
Yeah, he went down on the knees, and it sounded like the Schmo doesn't know Korean, but the translation, it was on the table, retirement.
Yeah, and he has nothing to prove. He's a 2-time title contender. He's done so much for the sport. I think the Korean Zombie he will be known as one of the greatest legends of all of Asia of all time.
Definitely putting it on the map, a pioneer from that region here in the UFC, no doubt about it. Back to Volkanovski, though. If it's not Henry Cejudo, we got the pool situation. Max Holloway, that's the next logical fight if we're talking about what's in front of us right now.
Well, it's not even just Max Holloway, but you have Max Holloway. You also have Zabit,
long left, and also Arnold Allen. The Schmo saw him in UFC London. Obviously, it was Dan Hooker. Very impressive performance. He's not active enough.
Yeah, but no way, man. You need someone that's experienced to beat this dude. This is what I'm saying, dude. Like and Alexander said it right. There's show him something. You featherweight, show him something. You know what I'm saying? Like I agree with him. Dude, I wish I had fought featherweight before because I am proven, Alexander. I am proven, dude. So at the end of the day, man, like there's nobody for you to fight. You've gone through the division. You either go up or fucking challenge me. The 2-division champ, the Olympic champ, the greatest combat athlete of all time. You have to ask for it. If you're able to ask for it, dude, we're both able to make money, dude. I feel weird kind of putting the cards on the table, but this is what it's all about, man. I ain't getting paid what I was getting paid before because I won't fight. But I'll put myself back in the pool just to see if they want to see that fight.
Is he the greatest featherweight in UFC history to date?
Yeah. He's proven that. I would always kind of go Aldo, but he's beaten Aldo. He's beaten Holloway twice. He's beaten the Korean Zombie. He's beat Ortega. You know, yeah, he might be the best, or he might be a win away from being better than Aldo.
And that's why if it's not you, Triple C, it's got to be Max Holloway, because to the Schmo, Max Holloway, the best featherweight out there. Obviously, Volkanovski's got 2 wins on him. He gets 3, no question about it. You put his name all the way at the top, zero doubt, greatest featherweight of all time. And obviously, the argument's still on the table now.
And Schmo, I will say this: Alexander Volkanovski, he is good. You guys did not get me wrong. But I just see those pieces to the puzzle that people are not talking about. It's kind of what I said earlier, or a few days ago, what I said about Sterling. I says, don't sleep on Sterling. If Sterling's entries could get better, he's gonna be able to take this dude down and make him fight his B side, and that's exactly what happens. So it all comes down to tactics.
Well, we gave Sterling the gold medal segment. You see what the Schmo did right there? That's why we led with him.
No, of course, and I get it, because there's ways to set traps on people, and it's all based on entries. And that's one thing that I will say. I fight everybody different. Volkanovski, the same combination, inside kick, he'll throw the smoke, he'll press you, he'll throw that overhand. You know what I'm saying? He almost throws curvy punches. But when you have a speed factor, and then the other thing that people don't talk about, if you're shorter than somebody, it changes too. It's different. He's so accustomed to the first time I fought Demetrius Johnson, I thought I was only an inch taller than him. I was like, man, this motherfucker's so short. He's so short, but he was so hard to hit. I was like, man, this dude is like bouncy. He's fast. I'm like, man, I was a bit dumbfounded in that first fight. So it would be something that would be new to Volkanovski, and that's another reason why I like it. My speed, my power, my intelligence, my experience, and obviously you can't forget my wrestling.
Wow, there it is, folks. Triple C, he's on his game right now. Let's go down to the bronze medal moment. Khamzat Chimaev. He beats Gilbert Burns. It was a war. Fight of the night. Contestant for fight of the year, absolutely. Number 11 takes down number 2, El Dorino. Great fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight, man. That was the right call. But if Chimaev goes out there and fights the Nigerian Nightmare like that, he's in big trouble, man. We just saw him kind of become human here, and I almost feel like he's too big for 170. And I always said that, man. Like, he's too big. Like, yeah, you can make the weight, but you're barely able to make the weight where it really affects you. I think Chimaev at 185 pounds is a more dangerous Chimaev than 170 pounds. Really.
The Schmo believes he was about 190 pounds, just based off the kilos and what he was saying in the post fight. He was about 190 pounds inside the octagon, gaining 20 pounds since yesterday in the weigh-ins. Yeah, it's a big boy.
Yeah, but you know what, Schmo? That's what I gained.
20 pounds.
20 pounds, man. So, pound for pound, like through stature and whatnot, like we actually get bigger. I think when TJ got popped for EPO when he fought me at flyweight, look it up. He was 147 pounds, and when he would fight at bantamweight, he was 141 pounds or 42 pounds when he would actually make weight. Look up the history, guys. This is what I'm saying. Like, you guys think I fought depleted Dillashaw? Like, no, that dude had drugs in his damn system, and he was freaking 7 pounds heavier than what he was before. Look it up, suckers.
This is sounding like a Triple C who's ready to fight, man. These guys feisty right now. But back to Khamzat Chimaev, man. Next in line for him, but he didn't finish Gilbert here. Like,
he didn't, man. He didn't. But Gilbert, what Gilbert didn't do right here, man. He his composure, man. He was bleeding, his demeanor. I think Chimaev was getting hurt too, though. But now it's like Chimaev needed this humble pie.
And he was sitting on top of the cage with Dern Till waiting for him as Dorino was making the walkout.
Yeah, you really can't make it like that if you're gonna have a close fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, Davidson pulled that thing with me too, kind of like lean, but that's lean. You got to be careful where you give your energy. So Chimaev's giving Chimaev's just giving the wrong. He thinks he could walk on water a little too much, and that's partially probably our fault. My fault, everybody's fault, because we're kind of putting him on a pedestal where he really hasn't proved anything. And then once he fought a top contender, man, a lot of people gave that fight to Gilbert Burns. He could have lost that thing.
Definitely humanized him, and obviously he's the best looking prospect we've seen in UFC history. A lot of us have said that. The Schmo was on record saying that too, but definitely humanized him. But here's the interesting thing. So the next time he fights, Dana White's already said he likes the Colby Covington fight. It's going to be a main event fight. The guy's going to jump from going from 3 rounds to 5 rounds against the bedroom and normal cardio kings, the self-proclaimed cardio king in Colby Covington. How do you see Chimaev surviving 5 rounds, and how do you think that fight looks with a Colby Covington if that's next?
Man, that'll be an interesting fight. I think Chimaev could probably still beat Kobe, but if it's a 5-rounder, which more likely probably would unless they do like a fight night, then that's a different story.
It's a main event. It's going to be 5 rounds, right?
Yeah, you're right. Because they're doing all that hype, and I think Kamaru just sits there, looks pretty. And I think the more film that he gets on Chimaev, the better that Kamaru Usman is going to be able to kind of game plan for him.
So the Schmo's been watching Khamzat Chimaev train over the past couple of years. He comes to Las Vegas Extreme Couture. He has his way with the middleweights. But something Sean Strickland did tell the Schmo off camera that I think is warranted, and he was completely right. He said this to the Schmo and Helen Yee. She could second herself to this, but he said, look, Chimaev, if he gets tested, if he gets dragged to the deeper waters, you can test him. That cardio and everything like that, he starts to fade. And obviously, we finally saw that for the first time with Dorino challenging him there. Can Colby Covington be that guy to do that to him and really test him in the deeper waters? That's why it's an intriguing matchup.
Yeah, well, not just that, but think about it. He wasn't able to take down Gilbert Burns. Does he have the ability to take down Kobe or the Nigerian Nightmare?
But does Colby have the ability to take him down? And the Nigerian Nightmare.
Yeah, Kobe does. Kobe does. They have an ability to take each other down, honestly, and I say that. You know what I'm saying? Kobe is a 2-time All-American, I think, and the other guy comes from the school of Dagestan. Like fighting, it's all about timing, and you know what I'm saying? It's all about timing to find the right distance in order for you to get the takedown. So it's gonna be good, man. The welterweight division is really, really good, man, and I'm excited for it.
Well, this was an important fight for him, and this tested him, and I think this is just going to make him stronger. Do you still feel as strongly about him as potentially being a champ and maybe the first one to hold 3 belts in the UFC? You feel different?
I do feel different about it now. It all depends if Glover's still the champ or whatever. If it's a grappler, I don't. Those light heavyweights would probably be a little too big. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. Chimaev, I mean, he's impressive because he ended up winning, but I saw a lot of flaws today. And he's kind of an emotional fighter, you know. If you go back and watch like the elite, like or even a Demetrius Johnson, like these guys, they know how to compete. They know where they're not freaking like, you know. It's okay, you won the fight, but at the same time, it's like, hey, dude, you're starting to expose yourself. You know what I mean? You don't want to show too much of that that you're able to take punishment, and I think that's what he showed this fight. And man, I can see him in the later rounds. I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel right now, Schmo, honestly. Well, he's probably overtraining too, because he's almost like, I train 5 times a day and all that, dude. All that stuff. If you're able to compete correctly, like you can be the best version of yourself. You don't have to overtrain or continue to keep doing these training five times a day like you can.
Interesting. Well, listen, you saw what Kamaru Usman did to Gilbert Burns in the championship fight when he defended in the second round. He put him away. Apples aren't oranges here, but Khamzat Chimaev wasn't able to put Gilbert Burns away. We saw a lot of holes, but ultimately the Schmo thinks Khamzat Chimaev is just going to become even bigger and better. And because of this, because he was humanized, he got the victory. He tasted the blood. He tasted what it felt like to be connected. And listen, man, when was the last time you had the 11th ranked guy facing the 2nd ranked guy and be that big of a favorite against the 2nd guy in the division? That speaks volumes. This was what, his like 4th fight in the UFC?
Yeah, but can I tell you what the key was Schmo?
5th, maybe?
No, the key in that fight with Gilbert Burns, Gilbert Burns really fought him in that first takedown, and he was able to, you know, get his respect. You know what I'm saying? And dude, it's tiring, man, trying to take somebody down, especially when you don't get it. So that's what happened, and I don't know, man. Like I think I think Chimaev, I think he will become better because of it. But the question that I have is, will he change his training patterns? Because he was huffing, bro. You know what I'm saying? He just happened to have a little more heart than Gilbert Burns, and he was able to kind of pull away with it. But another experienced fighter that has been there before, like Kobe or Kamaru, now that changes a little bit. I think he has a better shot at 185 than 170. I promise you.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
I predict these things.
He predicts these things, and let's stick to that theme of predicting these things. Let's make some hypothetical fights. What's next for Mackenzie Dern? Obviously, she's a number 5 gal in the strawweight division. Who should she fight next?
Yeah, I think Mackenzie Dern. I think she needs to fight Rodriguez again. That's the only one that's really open for her again. Get that rematch. Or even go against Amanda Ribas. I don't even know, dude. Maybe she's dangerous, dude. She is dangerous. Like, she's like, that's her bread and butter, man. It's the submission game.
What about the hype guy Ian Garry, man?
Oh my God, get that dude off the damn mic, dude. He's stealing my King of Cringe crown, dude. He's naturally like cringe. He's so desperate to be famous, dude. I like the kid. I'm sure he's a great kid. But he's so desperate to be famous that he's forgetting like the objective of really becoming a world champion. Like, stop talking about Conor. The only reason why I talk about Conor is because I'm trying to make money. But I'm not freaking, blowing all kinds of smoke up of Conor's rear. You know what I'm saying? So, Ian, you're going to have a lot of talent, dude. But, humble yourself, man. Like, and I mean that. That's genuine advice from Triple C because, you're undefeated. I was there before when I was like, man, I was doing my thing. That was a lot more calmer back then, but still, like, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Well, he's at 170 pounds. Mike Mallet makes the UFC debut. He won on Contender Series. He beat Ian Garry's teammate at Sanford MMA and Mickey Gall. Maybe that makes sense for what's next for both those two men.
Yeah, of course, man, of course. And the UFC, what they got to stop doing, stop protecting these dudes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys are like overhyped, and it's just not cool. Like, sometimes you don't you just match somebody up according. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about, dude. Like, get some good matchups, dude. Like, really test these people. See if they're cut out. Because if not, they're just gonna be a waste of promos. And that's just advice for you, UFC.
There it is. Triple C, he's on one right now, man. What are your overall final thoughts as we wrap up the Triple C and Schmo show? The Schmo's not screaming in the mic.
No, I think you fans, you guys recognize and realize that that this fight game is different, and you have to understand all the aspects in order for you to be the best version. Everybody and anybody can look pretty in whatever area that may be. Like, Khamzat his grappling was second to none until he got defended, until he got tested, and he was able to win that test. Petr, the ugly potato Jan, finally got taken down, and actually somebody controlled him. So we saw those holes that I've been talking about. And obviously, for the Korean Zombie and Alex Volkanovski, it's like you gotta have the ability to fight people accordingly. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that style, and I think that's kind of where I fit in. You know what I mean? Because of my athleticism, my experience. If you guys watch my fights on your own or whatever. So I just think it's opened up a lot of divisions for me, whether it's the bantamweight division, the featherweight division, and I will talk to Alid. I'm gonna see what the next game plan is. But this whole TJ thing with Aljamain, this whole Volkanovski with Holloway, and who knows, man? I think Triple C can slip right in there for either one of them.
Well, the Schmo just wants to ask you one more thing, unrelated to this card. UFC 275 in Singapore. Wei Li is fighting Joanna 2. Is that the fight that you expected?
No, I thought it was the Rodriguez fight at first. I thought it was a Brazilian fight. They might have changed it at the very end because I think Joanna wants to fight. I'm gonna see. I gotta talk to Wei Li about it. I haven't spoken to her about that. I heard it too, but she's we have to put up a really good game plan for Joanna because they're expecting striking. So you would have to really pinpoint a lot of those different areas for Wei Li and get it to become a champion once again.
There it is, folks. We will get into it more as each week progresses. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and wherever you download your podcast. The Schmo butchered the word subscribe. Don't laugh at us in the background. What's your name?
I am Triple C. You guys can all do me a favor and bend the damn knee.
I am the Schmo. We will deliver, and we are